Hey everybody, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Chris.
On today's episode, we're going to be going over TNA IMPACT. A lot happened.
A lot. Something with the Hardys happened too, I remember, right?
Yes, battle at the Hardy compound tonight. Got to see the Hardy family. And then, of course, everything building up to Rebellion this Sunday for TNA. So, let's not hesitate any further. Let's go ahead and get this party started.
The following podcast is set for at least 1 hour. Introducing your hosts from Fort Worth, Texas, at a total combined weight of 430 pounds. Kevin and Chris Mueller. The Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Kevin.
I'm Chris.
Oh, hang on here. There we go.
It's a work in progress.
Still a work in progress. And
I was doing a sound check.
there
Sort
we
of.
go.
It's delayed
There we
because-
go. We're getting it. We're getting it. All right. I'm Kevin,
I'm Chris.
and we are the Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast. Welcome. It is Thursday night, April 23rd, 2025, and
Is that
We-
what today was?
that's what today was. That was what today was, yeah. Here to give you guys everything, a recap of everything that happened on
Where's-
TNA Impact tonight. What happened?
What did you say today was again?
It's April 23rd, Thursday.
It's 24th.
24th. My old age. Go figure. Anyway,
It's been a sort of a storyline.
it's been a
ongoing thing.
it's been a long day for me, okay? Not only do I do this podcast, but I do work for a living too, so, forgive me. Excuse me while I take a swig of water to help my memory since I've got Alzheimer's. Thank you, son.
Sponsored by water. Vague.
Yeah,
water
anyway.
Brand. I don't know.
Anyway,
Not really sponsored though.
either way, welcome, guys. Of course, I'm here sporting my Acknowledge Your Daddy t-shirt. Don't get too excited. Anyway,
Get too excited.
calm down. Now, anyway, so another night, professional wrestling. Hope everybody had a good night, or a good day rather. Almost to the end of the week,
Yeah.
and we got TNA Rebellion coming up this Sunday, and of course we got SmackDown coming to Fort Worth tomorrow at the Dickies Arena in downtown Fort Worth. So might drive by there, or if we're daring, probably mingle with some people. I don't know. Talk with some people, interview some people. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
To be announced, I guess. I don't know.
To be determined. Card to be subject to change.
I think that's how it went.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. That's how it is. All right. So we are live on Kick, YouTube, Twitch, and we got Instagram back. So we are live on all 4 platforms right now.
We're live wherever you can go live.
You sound like you're about to fall asleep.
I'm gonna yawn.
Okay. Thank you for the warning. All
It
right.
has to happen at least once per episode.
Yeah. If you say so, sure. Okay. All right. Well, again, welcome everybody. And we're going to go ahead and get things going by recapping what all has happened tonight on TNA Impact. And here for that, of course, is Chris.
Wait, I was gonna do that?
You always do that. We made that. And
See.
I'm the one with Alzheimer's.
You don't have Alzheimer's, though.
Just go.
Anyway. Getting back to the thing.
Subject at hand.
Yeah, what we're supposed to be talking about. We had today's episode of tonight's, technically, episode of TNA Impact for April 24th, 2025.
Keep going.
From St. Joseph Civic Arena in St. Joseph, Missouri. Started off with Trey Miguel and Ace Austin teaming against JDC and Moose, the System, with Alicia Edwards at ringside. She, of course, interfered in that.
Yeah.
There was also some unexpected, I say unexpected because we're kind of out of the loop on Impact, but Brian Myers also interfered in that.
Well, and this was kind of an odd pairing with that I never thought I'd see, and that's with Ace and Trey.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they are of two separate tag teams, but
their respective partners are injured or
both of their partners are injured, so they decided to just team up and join forces.
And they still lost because again, that interference from Brian Myers.
Yeah.
Not to be a party pooper, but the JDC pinned Miguel. Probably gonna. I just remember the win-loss thing. We're gonna have to update it.
Oh, we'll probably get that. We'll probably get that brought back. I would say
at some point to be announced.
No, I'd say we'll probably bring back the win-loss records. I want to say maybe next year, because we're already 4 months deep into the year. Then again, I may do some hefty work over the weekend and actually get the win-loss records put together, and that's going to take a long time because I'm going through 3-4 different promotions just to get win-loss records, and I don't want to really count live
shows.
I don't want to count live shows.
You just want to count like pay-per-views and televised matches.
Pretty
Stuff
much.
we can watch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got someone in the chat.
Oh, we got someone in the chat on Twitch. Or Purple Brand, or however you want to label it. I don't know. Tierra Games giving us 3 flaming emojis. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Welcome.
After that, you had a promo with Masha Slamovich. Kind of talking about...
She was mainly talking into a mirror the whole time, but it was about Tessa Blanchard.
I think those two are going to be having a match coming up soon.
Rebellion.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Which would explain what happened at the end of Blanchard's match.
Which will come later.
But basically asking if the title was worth it.
Right.
In the mirror. And then apparently Mike Santana was in rehab or something. It was like this circle of people, and he was accusing Mustafa Ali of being addicted to him and saying that he wants to be the best. Or Mike saying that he wants Mike to be the best.
Okay.
However, we're supposed to phrase that one. Then we had a promo from the, I'm guessing Elegance faction. I don't know their actual name.
Well, I mean, there's Ash by Elegance, and then there was, the other one, I can't remember.
Other Person by Elegance,
and they had someone that is similar to the manager that they had.
I was thinking Luther from AEW.
You were thinking Luther, but I was thinking if Luther and Jim Cornette had a love child somehow, some way, that would be him. And I can't think of his name. Again, we're a bit rusty with the TNA stuff because we've been following along with
mostly WWE.
Mostly WWE, and then, trying to catch up with AEW. I mean, you saw our episode last night where we were talking about AEW, and I mean, right off the bat, we were confused. But sorry,
There was a lot of confusion that episode.
yeah, sorry, I'm taking things away from you here.
But basically, they had Ash on like this video call thing, and she was complaining about their upcoming match. I'm guessing at Rebellion.
Yeah, it's a Fatal 4-Way women's tag title match, and she was over here, and she wasn't pulling the Steiner math, surprisingly. I'll show you. Scott Steiner was pulling out math about percentage of winning and everything, and it wasn't making any sense. It wasn't mathing right. But she was mathing correctly by saying, if we were having just us against someone else, then it's a 50-50 chance that we could win. But now you threw us in this Fatal 4-Way tag match for our titles.
It's like a quarter.
And we got a 25% chance of winning now. So it lessens their chance, and so she was upset with What's-Her-Face by Elegance.
It's going to be an ongoing thing, I think.
I think so.
Until we eventually figure out her name by Elegance.
Oh, and the name of their manager, we came up with a name, and that was Luther Cornett.
Yeah. So we're going to probably bring that up again at some point.
Yeah.
Then you had a match between JC Jane and Rosemary with Ariana Grace at commentary and Fatal Fluence at ringside, the rest of the members of Fatal Influence. Of course, we saw the usual employment of the numbers game.
Of course. I know what you meant.
Both during the match and after.
Yeah.
JC Jane won that match. And after the match, the entire group ended up attacking, not Ariana Grace, she still stayed at commentary, but Fatal Influence attacked Rosemary. And you had Xia Brookside and Leia Lee, I think?
Yeah, Leia Lee.
Where they
or
stopped.
Leia Lee or whatever.
I'm not so sure what that first name was.
Yeah.
But those two stepped in to stop the fight, and we might end up seeing like a
six-woman tag match. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that match with Rosemary, I've seen her a few times in the ring. She does this Undertaker thing where she has her legs bent back, and then she like rises up, but she doesn't have her hands in front of her like the Undertaker. She has her hands at her sides like a freaking zombie or Dracula sits up in a coffin. Like he's laying there and the coffin lid's open and he smells blood. Ooh,
that one sound.
And then she kept biting JC Jane.
Maybe she thought she really was a zombie.
Maybe. Who knows? Go ahead. Sorry.
Then you had that thing that we were talking about earlier at the Hardy compound.
Oh yeah, the Nemeth brothers trying to find the Hardy compound before the commercial break.
So what they were basically, when it first started, I thought it was a commercial or something for a second, but because they were driving.
Yeah.
And then they encountered this guy with like a mask.
It was Willow. It was Jeff Hardy in a mask, and that character's name was Willow when he used to wrestle for TNA back in the day.
Back in the day.
But it set a pretty good haunting setting. I mean, the Hardy compound is in their home state of North Carolina, and you're just driving down a dirt country road, and it's dark at night, and all of a sudden you come across Jeff Hardy in a Willow mask with a green and black umbrella, and over here
yellow.
It wasn't yellow. No, it was black and green, I thought.
This is the new blue and black or
it's
white
one
and
of the
gold
it's going to
dress.
be one of those dang debates. Either way, it's haunting to go down a dark country road and you see a guy in a mask and he's just over here
playing with an umbrella
and talking to you like broken Matt Hardy. That's creepy enough, but then even to make it even more creepier, it's Jeff Hardy.
And then at some point he said something about seeing dead people and then dancing to like I'm guessing it was
my god.
It was,
yeah,
that thing at the Super Bowl, that Kendrick Lamar song.
As I was prepping for the show, with the graphics and everything and making sure we got the sound going and everything like that, Chris is taking notes. All of a sudden, there's this rap song that comes on, And you
he
see-
looks over and is like, "What?"
You see Jeff Hardy dressed as Willow doing the Kendrick Lamar halftime show dance. And I'm over here like, what is going on?
I feel like that was the overall reaction here, because then again, I think he warned us at like the top of that promo match. I'm not really 100% sure either way. Where
And this was actually your first time you've ever witnessed a Hardy compound match.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my
like first live one at least.
I've seen 4 of them now because they had a Hardy compound match.
He's seen 4 of them.
4. Oh, no. There was one where. No, this was before. Matt Hardy introduced this when he was doing his first run at TNA, and
Yeah.
I didn't see that one. The second time it was against Bray Wyatt.
I think I saw that one.
You think you saw that? Okay.
It was a while back.
Before they became tag champions for Raw.
It was like during when we were going back looking through some old stuff.
Yeah. The second one, it was no, I saw 3. This would be my third. Second one was with AEW. They had that one, and then the third one, of course, was tonight. But go ahead. Sorry.
But you can think of 4.
But I know there's I know there's a fourth one back. Matt Hardy's first run in TNA, but
Back
I
in
can't
the olden
remember
days.
in the olden days. You're trying to make me old just because I started watching wrestling like right at the time during my first time I saw wrestling, and it got my attention. I was probably about 3 years old, 2 or 3 years old, and it was a Saturday night main event, and it was when the Mega Powers teamed up. I can't remember who they were facing. No, they were facing Prince Akeem and Big Boss Man. And this is the one where Elizabeth got hurt at ringside, and Hulk Hogan picks her up and carries her to the backstage area to see the doctor, and Macho Man's left there to defend himself, and he loses the match. And he just hauls off, goes backstage, and then puts a finger in Hogan's face saying, look, it's one thing to come after me, behind, face to face, or behind my back, but it's another that you're going after Elizabeth this way. And it was like it was one of those love triangle kind of thing stories that Macho Man had thought in his head. And that's when Macho Man decked Hulk Hogan with the belt, and that's what led to their main event match at WrestleMania 5. That was my very first memory of wrestling ever, because it was an interesting storyline, and it was my introduction to Macho Man.
Yeah.
As a heel. It was great. I loved it. Sorry. Since we went on that side road, now we're going back.
Back down
and
another,
we're
back down the other side road.
Yeah.
Then you had a fight start between Jeff and Nick, where at some point, like the fight had been going on for a little bit, and then there was this truck, and
There was this truck.
2 trucks.
It's a little inside joke we have. Sorry, guys.
It's funny though. Let's see. And then he got put through a few tables and then ended up hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Like the grass ground, not...
Yeah, he hit the hard ground. He hit the ground. I mean, no cement floor, no padding. Went through like 4 tables and then ground.
The milk crate challenge, but with tables.
Well, he failed it.
Yeah. Then after that, he ended up stealing a belt from the truck.
Nick did.
He ended up stealing both of the belts, but yeah, that's when he got the first one. Then you saw Ryan versus Matt, while Nick got the other belt from the arcade. And at some point, Ryan was like speared into a pool, where he ended up like going on
This hallucinogen tangent.
Yeah, I guess that's the nicest way to put it.
Yeah, he was there with the Hardy kids, Matt Hardy's kids, and Matt Hardy's father-in-law, and they were in like the home theater, and they were watching like this old what's supposed to be like
silent film or
this
something.
wrestling silent film where Ryan is wrestling Matt Hardy's oldest son, Maxwell is his name.
Yeah.
And in between, you would get catches of Matt Hardy's wife playing the piano with Goth Baby. Not her real name. We don't know her real name, but her I guess her stage name or nickname is Goth Baby. And every now and then it would transition to that. And then
At some point, he went to therapy.
yeah, he went into therapy with Matt Hardy's youngest son.
He didn't hug his parents or something.
Yeah, he didn't hug his parents. And then Matt Hardy's son had really high rates. I would not
recommend
him. I mean,
psychiatrist.
1 hour with him, 1 hour session, he said was like what, $10,000, and then with emotional damage, it was $500 if I remember his pricing.
I don't know. It seemed to help Ryan though.
It did.
So.
And then you're supposed to be reading this. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's all right.
I got taken away by this whole thing because it was Matt Hardy compound, and I'm a fan of the Hardy Boys.
Then at some point, they ended up. Ryan ended up at where they were playing the piano, and he ended up turning emo or goth. One of the two.
He ended up turning goth with what is the name of that group's Simple Plan, Perfect. That song came on. I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. That was so good how they got that.
It was like this little roast battle type thing that happened between
Oh,
him
yeah,
and,
with his...
while he was goth.
While he was goth with his Matt Hardy's youngest son. Yeah.
Let's see. And then after that, the fight ended up starting back up. Then you said something about how Jeff looked like he was dressed like
he was wearing... Else's. Okay, so you remember how Matt Hardy did Broken Matt Hardy in WWE and in AEW, and he wore this long, I guess, sleeveless robe, and it was red and black. Jeff had something similar, but it was like all black. But you could see the inner stitchings and everything like that. And, of course, his eyes were whitened out with contact lenses, which, personally, I thought that was a good look on him. Go ahead. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, I promise.
No, that's good. But in the end, the Nemeths ended up getting away with the titles.
Mm.
Then you had this promo between Trey Miguel and Ace Austin, where they were talking about how they needed backup, and for that backup, they had this phone call type thing, with someone by the name of Sean Waltman. And then you said that was X-Pac.
That's X-Pac. 1, 2, 3 kid. Yeah.
I don't know all of their real names. So.
Well, Sean Waltman is that's X-Pac. So they're calling on his help to probably kind of even the numbers a little bit with the system. I guess that's what their name is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then you had a match between Tessa Blanchard and Missy Kate, where Tessa Blanchard won that match. It was kind of almost like a message she was sending to Masha Slamovich,
yeah,
who came out after that match and then ended up attacking Tessa.
Yeah, she went crazy.
And
then the reason being was because Tessa went to the training camp that Marsha was trained in and took out her coach.
Oof.
And Marsha now holds it personal, and she went completely crazy.
Yeah.
Completely crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy?
Crazy.
I was crazy once. No. I'm not going to repeat that whole bit here.
Please don't.
See, then you had this promo between Steve Maclin and Eric Young. I'm not sure if they were teaming before this, like if they were tag teaming.
It wasn't 100% clear. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know if they're supposed to meet each other and fight each other in Rebellion, or they're
trying to face off.
I think they are too, but I don't know. They seemed very calm, just sitting there at a campfire, just talking about things, and it's like.
And then And the thing is, the promo started with Steve Macklin like writing on something that was then later burned.
He was probably drawing
by-
a staple gun.
He still got
I'm
PTSD
sorry.
from that.
Staple pew pew if we're supposed to be technical or if we're wanting to try to avoid getting
Yeah,
anything like that.
but yeah, that still has PTSD from that.
A little bit. I'm getting over it slowly but surely.
He's seeing that Hardy therapy.
That's why we don't have a good high-price equipment. Moving on
Getting off that subject.
very quickly.
Then you had the main event: Frankie Kazarian and Ethan Page versus Elijah or Elias and Joe Hendry.
Oh, sorry.
We believe.
We believe.
And
believe.
there was this one moment where Kazarian was like outside the ring by the barricade, and you had Ethan just standing over him looking. And
Oh, yeah.
he's like, "What are you doing?"
He's over here. What are you doing?
Uh,
What are you doing?
that was funny.
I couldn't help but laugh. It's all like, dude, get in there and start whooping their butts. Don't stand there and look over your partner and go, what are you doing laying there?
And another thing is that later on, towards the end of that match, Ethan would duck out of a tag with Frank. We're gonna call him Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah.
Which would then lead to Frankie Kazarian getting pinned by Elijah, ending the match.
Yeah. And thus ending TNA. Overall, it was pretty good. I thought this the main event match of the night, I think. So just a quick recap, and there will be voting on over the weekend before next Monday, to where we get a vote from you guys on who you think match of the week should go to. We're going to leave that to you guys. Just to give you a recap of the matches, and I don't have the graphics yet.
Was that going to be in the Discord server only, or like?
We'd probably put it everywhere, just so we can get an idea of an overall vote. So the first match we had on Monday night, that was Io Sky taking on Stephanie Vakir. The second, the NXT match, that was going to be Stephanie Vakir against Roxanne Perez.
Twice
Twice.
in a row.
AEW, what would we pick for their match of the night for Dynamite? He's looking.
I gotta find it.
I think it was a women's match, because I was talking last night about how the first 3 matches of Match of the Night were all women's matches.
Statlander and Hayter.
Statlander and Jamie Hayter. Chris Statlander and
It was
Jamie
also
Hayter.
the least confusing match
It actually
of
was.
that night.
It actually was, surprisingly.
Because every other one you had at least 3 guys interfere for some reason. Or in the case of that Young Bucks match, it was like, these people shouldn't be teaming up. Why are they? Again, the weird thing where they were on each other's shoulders. It was like some pool party type thing. That's the best way we can.
We went from
describe it.
super kick party to pool party.
Yeah.
No,
we're
the
all
game
just
is
gonna
called.
leave.
Okay, the game is called Chicken. That's what I remember. So it was pool party chicken and super kick party, and then of
That
course
sounds like a video game.
it
Super
does
Kick
sound like a
Party.
video game. And then now the fourth match, of course, is the main event tag match from TNA Impact. So we'll make sure to get a counting of this and put it out there on our social media sites and let you guys vote on who you think should get match of the week, if you've been following along with the matches. We still got SmackDown tomorrow night and Collision to make our last 2 picks of match of the night. And I'm hoping some good ones, because, I mean, of course, SmackDown coming from Fort Worth. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you're going to SmackDown at Dickies Arena, message us on our social media and our email, which is
crossworldpod@gmail.com.
testing him, and he keeps failing.
It's funny to fail sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
In the case of the email.
Yeah. All right.
Always
well,
make him wait just a little bit, see his reaction there.
oh,
He's
I forgot-
testing me,
you
I'm
know
testing
what?
him.
You know what? I forgot to do the graphics for the news, but that's okay.
We're just going to put, like, in all caps, big red letters, like right up here. News.
We can't do that.
No, we can't.
Either way, we're going over the news
We'll add
segment
it in
now,
post.
which
We're live. There is no post.
we're live. There is no post. Let me see. What is this? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Looky there.
Hey, we figured it out. Lucky us.
See what I did there? See what I did there? There we go. Cross promo news. Too bad we don't have enough room. We can't do the Joe Hendry turnaround thing, you know?
Unless we just over here take turns.
That or
doing
we
it,
just
move
do
the chairs out of
that
the
or
way.
we just do this. We just that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, enough fooling around. It's time to get serious. It's time to talk about news. Kicking things off, if anyone is familiar with the gentleman that did music for WWE during the golden era, during the 80s and 90s, pretty much all the way up to, I want to say, 2017-ish, Jim Johnston. There is a possibility of him doing music for AEW. I know. It should be the other way around. Jim Johnston should be doing music for WWE again, and the other guys that are doing the music for WWE right now head over to AEW. Because a lot of people, there are some people that are not fans of their music,
Like who-
I can't remember their name right now, and I'm bad with names. I'm sorry. I'm very bad with names. But they're currently right now doing the music for WWE, but I believe their contract is going to be running up soon, and they're going to look to get someone else. Because I remember we reported that, like, I want to say last year, that they were switching up the music.
Was that you doing news or me doing news?
Either or, one of us. Either way.
Remember.
Sean Ross Sapp was asked whether Jim Johnston was going to be returning or if AEW was going to be thinking about signing him on. We got to keep in mind, though, Jim Johnston's 75 years old. The man could be retired and be like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with music. Let me retire. Let me relax.
And I was doing music again.
Now, when
Or maybe, I don't
AEW
know.
first started back in 2018, they did go to Jim Johnston because at that time, Jim Johnston was let go and was released from WWE by Vince McMahon.
Budget cuts.
I wouldn't say budget cuts. It was probably for some other reason.
I don't know. I feel like with McMahon, like the number one excuse was budget cuts.
Yeah, that is kind of true. I mean,
That was
You look-
always
you look
the
at-
on paper reason,
yeah.
even if it was something like behind the scenes. But that's aside from the point or whatever. Little side tangent there.
And that was Chris's rant of the evening.
Yeah.
All right. So Sapp had said this, and quoting, let me break this down. Jim Johnston is about 75 years old. He hasn't been consistently producing music in 8 or 9 years, and when AEW first launched, he asked for a lot of money. From what I heard, it was a significant amount. Meanwhile, Mikey Ruckus is much younger and more versatile when it comes to creating themes. AEW has him under contract at a very reasonable rate. He even got a new deal last year. They're getting great value out of him. All due respect to Jim Johnston, if he contributed here and there, it wouldn't be a bad thing, but from what I understand, he still wants a lot of money, and that might not have changed. So AEW hasn't brought him on yet, surprisingly, because Jim Johnston is asking for a large amount of money. I mean, I don't know why, Tony Khan can't go to Daddy Warbucks and ask for more money because he wants music. So that's my Tony Khan impression, because every single time you see him talk,
He's surprised.
majority of the time when he's talking at a press conference or anything, his eyes are always just big. Like, my God, there's so many people here actually paying attention to me. This is more attention I get from my own father. Wow. That kind of thing.
That almost turned into like mocking him for a second. Oof.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I consider it that. Anyway, moving right along to the next story. Triple H dropping an F-bomb on fans.
Not an F-bomb. He said a bad word.
Well, they on fans that were upset with WrestleMania 41.
He said a no-no word.
This was happening at
You can't do that.
This happened at the roast of WrestleMania, which was not televised. And by the way, they're trying to stop anyone posting any videos of the roast because there have been some pretty risque and pretty bad comments made by the people that were performing in that. Paul Heyman, Nia Jax. I think I've got a story. I saw a story, but I didn't think of it to be reading it that was newsworthy. But during, I could probably tell you real quick. I mean, Paul Heyman was making, of course, jokes about Pat McAfee, Michael Cole. Nia Jax went and straight on verbally was attacking Charlotte Flair. And it's, to sum it up, told Charlotte just to go home, don't come back, and worry about your 3 marriages.
Oof.
Which all ended in divorce, which it was like like a jab at her. So that was interesting. But then Triple H had the final word of the night. He started by reflecting on WrestleMania weekend and saying, like he would at press conferences, it was an incredible week, the gate, all that other stuff. But he didn't go into that deep part. But he didn't hold anything back when it came to the fans that were criticizing, because I was telling you of some of the criticisms that people
want him to step down and whatnot.
They wanted him to step down. They weren't happy with WrestleMania, all this stuff, blah blah blah. I honestly, my personal opinion, I don't see what was wrong with it, except for the last match and how it ended. I mean, I'm okay if you give Cena the belt because it's a part of a story. And Cody has been carrying that thing for a year and has been doing dark matches, has been doing live events. He's been doing a lot as champion that a lot of people don't see that, behind the camera, because you don't see live events on televised. You don't see dark matches or whatever. He's been doing a lot as champion, but a lot of people just haven't been seeing it. So he's probably going to take a little break, get a breather, and let John Cena have the belt. That is perfectly fine in, behind the scenes. As far as in front of the camera storyline wise, it'll be interesting. I mean, we saw on Monday, Randy Orton.
I think that's the story that they're building to. That way, they can have Randy be his last opponent, That's what I'm thinking.
I would hope that it was CM Punk being his last opponent, But that's just
he's
me.
only got, 30, not 37. It was like 20-something.
He's got less than 25 or so many
24.
days. That many dates before he leaves, because he's already said on the Pat McAfee show, it doesn't matter how much they want to pay me. I'm not re-signing a contract and coming back in December. So it seems like his last match is going to take place sometime before December, and after that, we'll see John Cena in a ring no more, except for old video clips and old matches and everything.
But we couldn't see him back then.
Well, now we can.
Anyway,
so back to Triple H and these critics.
Yeah.
He said, quoting him now, "It's been a hell of a week. We've had a blast. Hope everybody was entertained. The truth is, hopefully everybody had a blast at WrestleMania weekend. And if you didn't, I've got 2 words for you." And all of a sudden, everybody in the crowd said, the DX, suck it. But then he immediately got loud and said, F off. And it was like,
switched
okay,
up on him there.
the critics really got to him a little bit. So, and it's not the first time that he's fired back at critics. The week before WrestleMania, he was saying that a lot of people that are constantly complaining, they have sucked the fun out of professional wrestling. And that also goes with people that will go on and go on the internet and spoil some things, like spoil what had happened at a pre-recorded event, like how they had them pre-recorded events for like SmackDown and everything because they were going overseas, and people were like spoiling the outcomes of SmackDown and Raw. And it's like, please don't give us any spoilers, because we had that when we were on TikTok.
We had to worry about spoilers a lot.
Oh God, did we ever?
That's why I try to keep wrestling stuff like off of my normal account. That way I don't have to worry about spoilers like at all.
Well, see, if I do, so I can keep up with news and anything that's interesting or anything that has happened. And if I see that is a spoiler, I'm like, nope.
Meanwhile,
Nope.
I just took the easy way out.
Yeah. Nope.
Meanwhile, here I am just scrolling through mindlessly.
Nope. Rhea Ripley. Nope. No. Oh crap. I actually scrolled.
He lost the spot in the news.
No, I regained it. So he just doesn't like the complaints. And it goes back to what I've said about the premise of our show. And that was, we don't really criticize how someone is running a promotion. I mean, yeah, we poke fun at Tony Khan, but I mean, Tony Khan in the beginning was just nothing but a fan, and he's just got a bunch of money. It's like how we kind of would do things if we played GM mode or we played Universe mode on 2K. How would we go about doing it? And some of it seems really ridiculous and but fun. But when it comes to AEW, yeah, they're wrestlers. When you all boil it down, no matter what promotion it is,
we're not professionals.
We're not professional wrestlers. We're not promoters. We're just fans, just trying to convey to other fans
our thoughts.
Our thoughts, exactly,
and our reactions and whatnot
of matches and events, and anything that happened in the news. Yeah. So,
if we have any actual criticisms, I'm sure we'll bring it up, but like legitimate, justified criticisms. But if it's just something like we don't.
Yeah, we're not going to go off and say, I mean, like for example, the main event at WrestleMania, Cody losing to John Cena, and I'm like, okay, I like how they want John Cena to be champion, but the way they went about it, I didn't like.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there could have been more back and forth in that match.
There could have been a lot more, but again,
I say that as if there was any form of back and forth. I didn't see all of that match, but the entire time, because again, I had to get like food or something.
Yeah.
But the entire time, it seemed like Cena was in control of that entire match.
He was.
Like almost that entire match.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Next story. And I don't know if this is a real thing. If I am to use wrestling terms, if this is a shoot or if it's a work, meaning a shoot meaning real, work meaning it's part of the story. Okay? Just kind of schooling you up a little bit. And for those at home, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I don't know if this is a shoot or a work. Okay? And I know some wrestlers, they don't like fans using terminology, but if there are wrestlers that are watching our show or listening, then they get an understanding of what we're talking about. But this is in dealings in AEW.
And it saves like a few words that are...
Yeah.
It's like saying this dayeth of the week instead of just say...
Did you say this dayeth?
Yeah. Why use many word when only use one not many words?
When did you start spouting off Shakespearean language?
Old English. Ye old English.
Ye old English?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Words like that are funny to say sometimes.
Oh, believe me, I do it to irritate your mother. And some people.
Which means now I gotta do that to irritate my mother.
Mother, dost thou haveth a good dayeth? Then sometimes I just add "ith" to the,
end of normal words.
Yeah.
Which is even worse.
So, back to the news. Shelton Benjamin confronted Max Caster after being told he's not wanted in AEW. Yeah, I didn't know if this was a work or a shoot. When Shelton Benjamin came onto the scene in October of last year in AEW, Max Caster didn't seem all that happy. He seemed pretty angry and made it clear that Shelton Benjamin isn't welcome in the AEW locker room. But during an interview with Chris Van Vliet, I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. This guy's a well-known podcaster and has had great interviews. I've seen them. And I hope that
we try not to mess up anybody's names.
Yes, but
we're not perfect at it.
When it comes to him, I hope this show gets to that status of his to where it's well recognized. And shoot, who knows? Maybe we show up on WWE sometime during a pre-show or whatever. Please, pretty please.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Pretty please. Hear us out.
Hear me out.
Here's our pitch. No. But Shelton Benjamin was on his podcast, Chris Van Vliet. I think that sounds better.
Fisher
and Benjamin was...
No insult.
No insult.
Yeah.
Benjamin was asked about Max Caster, about his past remarks, where Caster actually felt that Benjamin coming in and all these guys coming from WWE felt like they were taking away his spot in the roster.
I was about to say, because as soon as it seems like
go ahead.
When you had Hurt Syndicate get big in AEW, you started seeing the Acclaimed kind of just fade away.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's there's some link there, but it's kind of weird. And then now hearing this.
Yeah, well, then I've also noticed since they started acquiring WWE guys that had gotten released and then started joining up with AEW, a lot of the original AEW roster members are over here feeling that
it's not AEW anymore.
That is, well, not that it's not AEW, but it feels like, okay, we're getting these guys and it's like WCW and WWE all over again, which
we've been comparing it to since
so much. I mean,
I'm sure people have compared
everybody has. Beginning. Everybody has. It's like, oh my gosh,
since the beginning of AEW. Oh, it's
well,
WCW.
I mean, you had Chris. That was my watch.
I don't know how.
My watch will chime in every now and then, thinking that it can strike up a conversation,
but it did not understand.
But it didn't understand. But yeah, everyone is comparing the current status between AEW and WWE with WWE and WCW back in the 90s. Because you would see a lot of WWE guys go to WCW, and they were the kind of the older generation, the golden era wrestlers.
Where the big boys play.
Yeah. The golden era wrestlers of WWE going to WCW, and the newer generation was breaking through. And then some of the newer generation went to WCW. So.
And then what was that thing? Oh, we're the best wrestle for AEW.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but it's getting a bit...
They're setting themselves up for hilarity.
WCW. The comparisons are just getting easier to make.
Well, it was even more. It was like they shot himself in the foot when they thought of the idea of the Young Bucks showing the video of the altercation between Jungle Boy and CM Punk backstage.
This and not give any actual context. Have the video muted.
Yeah. We're just going to show this for no reason, and then there's... If you go to our TikTok page, we show Tony Giovanni having...
And that's another thing. Tony Giovanni was in both.
He was in both incidences when... this was back when they were going to make Mankind, Mick Foley, the WWE Championship. WWE Champion.
Yeah.
And Tony Giovanni... Not Giovanni. Giovanni. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean. He was making the announcement because they would be reading the results of WWE because WWE, every now and then, Raw would be pre-recorded. And the moment he announced that Mick Foley was they were gonna,
Everyone just switched over.
it was like instantaneous. That was it. Okay, we got to go to Raw and see how this is gonna play out. So, with what the Young Bucks did, you take a look
It
at
made
Tony.
everyone start watching Punk again.
Yeah, that. And you look at Tony after they get done, Young Bucks get done with their segment. Tony's over here like, it's happening again. I cannot believe it. It's happening again. And sure enough, when Punk came back in WWE in Survivor Series, everyone was over here like, oh, we got to watch Punk. He's back in WWE now. No telling what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
And then AEW is like, well, that's great.
Oh, that's
How
all,
did we
folks.
shoot ourselves in the foot? Oh, that's right. Our executive vice presidents, the Young Bucks, thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and put a video that should have been not displayed of two wrestlers fighting because of some altercation because one young wrestler thought it'd be cool to use real glass and
Something
the
about
veteran
crying a
wrestler
river.
telling him no. But then the young wrestler over here bowing up to him and everything, and him, yeah.
And then something about crying a
I
river.
have my own little opinions about that, and there are some people in AEW I'm not woohoo about.
Yeah.
You know, if anything,
He's of the opinion Jake Paul.
they're no
Same
actually
guy, same
actually they're on that list, but they're below Logan Paul.
You're on. I thought you. Well, I've always kind of joked that Logan Paul should have gone to AEW.
No, I you know I mean it would be best, but I don't think so. You wouldn't get that much recognition.
Yeah.
You go to WWE, which is a bigger name and has been around for 50 plus years, you get your name out there a lot more.
Yeah.
So, anyway, back to the story with
Back
Shelton
to the
Benjamin.
news.
He had said that he had confronted Max Caster and had a conversation about
And they started fighting.
No.
No, they didn't start a fight. No.
We have the camera footage. No.
Yeah. We have our rig back here behind this green screen. We're gonna stare at it and point at the big screen now.
And if you could see right here.
There's nothing right there.
Anyway, they get it. Anyway, so Shelton Benjamin said, quoting him, "We've spoken, and pretty much what I suspected was true. Max is an idiot. He was poking the bear, but then the bear showed up, and he decided, okay, maybe I should stop poking. So long story short, it's my spot now." End quote. That's probably why we haven't seen not much of Max Caster.
And it's like they can't put the two against each other because the whole Acclaimed breakup.
Yeah.
So
So I mean that was just interesting. It's like you've got these AEW guys clashing with former WWE guys. It happened with Hangman Adam Page. What was behind me?
I was checking the green screen, seeing if the light was still on.
Hangman Adam Page had a match with CM Punk, and Hangman Adam Page just went into business for himself and started insulting CM Punk on a lot of things that they didn't go over, like insulting, just cutting a promo on him personally, and CM Punk didn't like that. It was like, and he made that clear at a press conference when he was bleeding and eating donuts, that he's working with children, and he doesn't appreciate guys like Hangman Adam Page going to business for themselves and cutting a promo and everything. And it was after that press conference, that's when Punk got into a fight with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. And it was like, you three agreed to sign him on to your company that you're vice president.
That was the first time he left.
That was, yeah. And then Tony Khan thought he could, bridge the, build the trust and everything with CM Punk and create Collision and have CM Punk on Collision and the guys he had an altercation with stay on Dynamite.
But they quickly just didn't do that.
CM Punk was like, no, that ain't going to help anything. CM Punk was like, he said in an interview on a podcast, I can't remember whose, but he was saying, I don't know why you're doing this. I don't know. You don't need to be making a whole another show just on my behalf and all this other stuff.
Not just that, but as far as I can tell, I don't think they've really been doing this an actual brand split type thing.
No, they haven't. They haven't been. And everyone thought that was going to be a brand split, and it's like, well, I don't know. It would help because you got all these title belts that we're having a hard time trying to keep track of.
Yeah.
How many mid-card titles are there? You got the TNT title for the men, the TBS title for the women, the
the tag trios,
the
belts.
not intercontinental, international title, then the continental title, and the trios tag titles, and the women's title, and I mean, I know WWE has a lot of belts too, but
including the undisputed.
Oh dear God, you're doing that again.
I'm gonna,
but
it really is the undisputed belt.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, yeah, WWE has a lot of belts too, but they're easy to keep up with because you have NXT's champions on their brand, you know, Raw's champions on their brand, and you know SmackDown's champions on their brand. Yeah. And now you have this thing with Evolve that comes on Wednesdays.
Does Evolve have titles? Or?
No, they don't. And I wouldn't be surprised if they introduce titles on Evolve. So, who knows? Coming up next up on the news, and it was big news that was announced on Saturday during before night one of WrestleMania, and that was WWE's acquisition of AAA Wrestling, and that Worlds Collide was going to be coming back in June, just in time for Money in the Bank, June-July time frame. But there have been rumors. Yeah, in the summertime. But there have been rumors that have been going around of the reasoning of the acquisition.
The Lucha Brothers are going to be there.
No.
Oh.
It was, and I'm about to read it. Rumors have been going around that the deal came about because AAA has been having money issues.
Huh.
And the AAA talent director, he goes by the name and I got to do this at the camera and say it in the accent, the Latin Lover. That sounded too Scottish.
Yeah, it really
How
did.
did I go? I am the Latin Lover. There, yeah, okay, there we go. That's better. Ish.
I know,
But
it
anyway.
also kind of sounded like a character from James Bond.
Listen to me, Moneypenny. You're going to go to the ring.
Someone has to have done that on 2K or something.
Had to have. Anyway, we're losing track here and losing time.
Yeah.
But I bet everybody watching is laughing right now, and that's perfectly fine. Because they're laughing and going, this guy cannot do accents for the life of him. And his son is just humoring him.
That was a pretty good... What accent would that be? Mexican?
See? You wouldn't even know. Anyway.
Unless it was Canadian.
No. I'm not even doing that. But the... during Infobay... the AAA talent director, the Latin Lover, there, I said it. He talked about the quote-unquote financial crisis, saying, quote, wrestling sites are saying, what's going to happen with Latin now? They sold because they were red in the numbers. I'll be honest, I never saw red numbers. I never even saw a venue at 3/4 full, end quote. Then he started talking about how signing on and getting with WWE has a really big benefit, and he's saying that basically it's a major chance for homegrown talent around the area of AAA to gain exposure globally to a big venue or a big promotion such as WWE. There's even rumors going around that they're going to have an NXT Mexico, NXT Europe, and NXT Japan. So there's going to be like 4 different NXTs.
So we're getting the
North American.
They're rebooting the NXT UK thing.
Well, it's not going to be UK. It's going to be Europe. So it's going to be encasing all the countries in Europe. And then, of course, Mexico and Japan. Or maybe
It's a modern reboot.
it's a modern one.
Where by reboot they mean just restart entirely.
Yeah, and you're going to have a whole new set of titles.
Yeah. And a lot of things that were never even thought of in the original, and it's a remake.
Interesting arenas, too. He continues on by saying, quote, if it's sold for $50 million, like some say, fine. I tell my fellow wrestlers, if you're smart, you'll see this as a huge chance. How many Mexican wrestlers have dreamed of joining the biggest wrestling company in the world? Responding to critics that say that the company is failing, he went on and said that why would WWE invest in something that's failing? Then again, they did buy WCW and ECW.
Yep.
Ah!
WCW.
But again, he re-emphasized that WWE invested in something they believe that can flourish and can succeed. They didn't invest in something that was just going to flop.
Yeah.
So, moving right along, it has been put out that John Cena and Travis Scott would join up as a tag team in a tag match.
Yippee.
That idea has been pitched, apparently. According to Corey of Pro Wrestling Nexus, there's even that, according to him, there's even more to it, saying, quote, I've been informed that there is a pitch for John Cena and Travis Scott to work as a tag team match together at some point this year. I'm misreading this quote, sorry.
Nah, that's one picture. I don't know if he needs to be on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nothing concrete as of right now. Then his co-host or fellow reporter, Mash J, had continued and added on to that, saying, quote, unfortunately, hearing the same info suggesting talks are heating up behind the scenes. Now, the reason what has sparked this whole entire thing of this going around, Joe Hendry was speaking to Ariel Helwani, and he was teasing of
Huh? He didn't appear.
No, I'm sorry. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But he had teased the possibility of a major music name stepping into his corner and tagging with him by saying, quote,
Elias.
Probably. I don't know. You mean Elijah.
That too.
He said, quote, he's got Travis Scott in his corner. Can you imagine a huge star in music just reached out to Joe Hendry? Someone in the same ballpark as Travis Scott? Maybe it's the same genre. Maybe it happened yesterday. Did the person say...
Imagine if it's Jelly Roll.
That'd be
Plot
hilarious. Did the person say, I could go to one of their concerts? I'm going to stop there.
You're going to stop there? Or
That's what Joe Hendry said. But during the now, here's what even added more fuel to this possible dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. That bad, huh?
I'll give you my opinion in a minute. It was during the post-show press conference of night 2 of WrestleMania. Triple H had been asked about Travis Scott's future in WWE and saying, quote, could we see him do more and step in the ring? Just got to tune in, end quote. So more than likely, we haven't seen the last of Travis Scott.
That makes Dad so happy.
I mean,
that makes him so happy.
There are many musicians that went that went and wrestled. I mean, you look at Bad Bunny during at WrestleMania 38, where
he did something.
He teamed with Damian Priest and wrestled
that was
The Miz and Morrison. That was when they first started coming back from COVID. So I think it was probably sooner than that, probably 37.
Yeah. Then you had that thing with him and Priest.
Yep. Then you had a match with him and Priest. Who else? You had
Jelly Roll. He
Yeah,
slammed
jelly
that
roll
other guy
choke slam some guys and threw some guys around, which was
at
hilarious.
SummerSlam.
You had
MJF, he's
no.
a musician.
Kevin Owens power bombing Machine Gun Kelly or MGK through a table, which was hilarious. So, my opinion, why? Just why? We saw what happened.
Here's my statement on it. Why?
Why? Because we seen how he's
Just dramatically turned to the camera.
Yeah, because we seen how he did in the ring at Elimination Chamber, just slapped Cody across the face so hard that it gave him a black eye and busted his eardrum.
The way I'm looking at it is not just that, but it's how he responded to it. How did he respond to it?
Oh, no, he thought he was in wrestling.
Yeah.
He Bubba Ray on Busted Open Radio. Bubba Ray didn't like how that was handled. He even was like, going up and down saying he didn't like how he did that and everything. And Travis Scott just came back and said, if Bubba Ray was there, I would have slapped him too. Of course, he used more expletives and everything like that. Yeah. But it was really, you want to egg on Bubba Ray Dudley?
And again, not to put AEW down that much or anything,
or at all,
but. Not Machine Gun Kelly, but Travis Scott is the kind of person that is more for AEW.
Well,
the business for himself, thinks, can't be told that he know it all. Yeah. I guess I don't know.
Well, we also can't forget about the time Snoop Dogg got involved in WrestleMania 39.
What did he do?
He did a few moves on The Miz.
Did he hurt Miz?
No. That's the thing. He didn't hurt Miz.
Not just that, but again, instead of apologizing and saying it was an accident, he just doubled down and was like, "I'm gonna slap you too."
It's like, you're really you want to talk
that
about
reminded me of
you want to talk about poking the bear. You just jumped the fence and just started punching the bear.
He's like, "You know what? I'm gonna wrestle the bear." Never mind, the bear has hands.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was like.
Well, this one you're going to enjoy. Because it was one you're a fan of. Mr. Ruffles himself. Ryback.
I was like, who? I was like, oh, no.
He is backing The Rock after accusations come about on The Rock of undermining Triple H.
How did he undermine Triple H?
Hang on. I'm going to read you the article.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're supposed to do the news.
He's catching on. But at one point, The Rock had responded to Dave LaGreca, who accused The Rock of throwing Triple H under the bus for not showing up at WrestleMania 41.
Also, someone said hi in the Kick chat. I think that's Kick. It's the green one.
I'm seeing it. I hope we're saying your name, Nick Topus. Sorry if we butchered it. We're bad with names, but hello, welcome. Let's see, where was I? He went off and was saying that Triple H should have handled the main event a little differently. So The Rock took to Twitter. What do you keep looking at?
Checking the chat thing.
Where?
Like, the three of them we got up.
Oh. But I'm looking at you right now. So The Rock took to Twitter to Dave and said, "Hi, Dave." I'm quoting him from his Twitter, from what he posted on Twitter. "Hi, Dave. The business is a complete work. Always has been, always will be. Every aspect of it. Every match, every interview. Please join me, Cody, Cena, Brian." I don't know who Brian is. And
Brian
the rest
Myers?
of...
Brian Myers?
No. And the rest
I think that was his name.
Oh, I don't think so. And the rest of us for our creative discussions so you can expand your perspective. Until then, stop ranting. It's not healthy, my friend. Enjoy the show. P.S. Tell Bubba I gave Grand Mariner a and hush puppies for all of us. I mean, so Ryback, then after seeing that post,
He was upset that there was no Ruffles chips mentioned.
he took to Twitter and defended the final boss, saying, quote, "If you're truly a fan, you can enjoy wrestling without losing your mind over every outcome. But when you've got no purpose, no goals, entertainment becomes your identity. That's when the hate kicks in. And now, toxic hosts are spreading that same broken mindset to a new generation. It's not wrestling, it's you." So basically lashing out at, people that have wrestling podcasts like ours that are criticizing wrestling and everything like that. Which goes back to what I've been saying about our show. If a pro wrestler such as Bubba Ray, Jim Cornette, guys like that have been in the business and have their own show and their own podcast, have every single right to criticize, critique, and everything about a match or an event or anything like that, or how someone wrestles, because they have been a part of the business and they've been a part of the business for that long to where they have every right to do so. Whereas people like you and I, we don't. We're fans, so we really can't critique without, or complaining about a storyline without going, okay, without actually doing some some common sense and going, there's a reason probably why they're going about doing this. They're probably wanting you to hate this person a little bit more, so that way when they get their comeuppance by the good guy, you're going to feel 10 times better. And that's what happened at WrestleMania 40.
But at the same time, I guess, not to take anyone's side here, like a whole lot, but at the same time, you remember that whole like Rock Ava death threat situation a while back?
Oh
right?
my God, I remember that. People were taking that way too far.
Yeah, that just. I feel like what he is talking about here applies more to situations like that, where you do realize it's just a show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like watching your favorite series, and you're like, oh, I hate that character. I hate that guy so much. You don't hate the actor. You just hate the character that the actor is portraying.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of a good example right now because it's so late.
Yeah, it is.
So I want to. Okay, so we got one more news story, and then we're gonna take it on home because it's getting late.
Yeah,
all right.
We've gone like 18 minutes over.
Oh well.
No,
So, the headline says, "Reason Alexa Bliss has not returned to WWE TV has been revealed." PW Insider Elite is saying Bliss is quote unquote completely healthy, and was in attendance at WrestleMania 41.
Was it a storyline issue?
Well, yeah.
Yippee! I guess right.
Plans are still reportedly in place for Bliss to return as the one of the members of the long-rumored Wyatt Sicks faction. So we're still waiting.
So we're going to get that too, which is cool.
We're going to get the Wyatt Sicks coming back, and everything that I thought of and hoped for, and that's Alexa Bliss joining the Wyatt Sicks.
Yeah.
And then her and Nikki Cross can go after the women's tag titles. It's so perfect.
Okay, so hear me out.
Just think, okay,
War
look,
games.
you have enough
maybe not
people,
War Games.
maybe not War Games, but you have...
It'll probably be at like a big pay-per-view or something where they do that Judgment Day versus Wyatt Sicks.
That was actually, like I had talked about earlier.
Yeah, I think it was like the first...
It was the first episode back.
Yeah.
But hear me out on this, and, message us if,
Cross-promo pod thing, the email or whatever.
Anyway.
Or other places. Or the comments here.
Yeah.
One of the chat things here. I don't know.
You have Alexa Bliss join. Okay? Her and Nikki Cross team up and go after the women's tag titles. You have Uncle Howdy go after the main title. either Eric Rowan or Dexter go after the U.S. title, and then have
Dexter.
or Joe Gacy go after the U.S. title, or have one of out of those three, have two of them go after the tag titles and one of them go after the mid card title. And if you can get one more person to join, you can have or two more women to join. You can have one woman get the main women's title, the WWE Women's Championship, and the and the women's U.S. Championship. Then you could say that faction has all the gold because they have enough people.
Day's been doing, where they have one or two belts at the same time.
Yeah, but see, ideally, if it was a perfect story writing thing, if you were to have the same kind of thing that the Four Horsemen did, if you had the same kind of thing that Evolution did, and that is you have four guys, and you get all, and they're the only men faction, and you have them take all the titles in the men's division. You can do that with the Wyatt Sicks. The men in that faction can take over the men's division. You just need two more women, and that whole entire faction can be running all of. Well, they're on what brand? SmackDown. They can run all of SmackDown.
I think they got moved to SmackDown, yeah.
So imagine that. And then, I mean, and I think that was the issue that everyone was wanting for the Bloodline. Because you had the Usos have the tag titles. You would say Solo go after the U.S. title. Roman had the main title. You would get, and I often did this in 2K Universe. I had Tamina and Nia as tag team champions and women's tag team champions. And then you have Naomi go after the women's title, or either way.
Yeah.
But they need an additional woman now to go after the women's United States title. So, your thoughts on all that?
Hoping they get a storyline set up for her and the Wyatt Sicks.
Same here, because I've been impatiently waiting for them to come back, and it's just got to be the right time. What I think would
TikTok.
Yeah, what I think would be best for them to come back is make sure that Bo Wyatt's fully healed, and you get another faction that's building up,
go against them,
that can rival against them, and have the same amount of people in the group, and have the same kind of goals, and that's to take over SmackDown. Now, they were originally going to do that with Judgment Day, but Bo Dallas got injured, so when you have Uncle Howdy not there, it's kind of not that much of a good group feel kind of thing for the Wyatt Sicks.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, that wraps it up pretty much for tonight. Be sure to check us out on our social media pages, whether it be Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, X, formerly Twitter.
Or Twitter, formerly X.
You can also find us on our Discord page and TikTok. We still have a TikTok page, of course. And you can also email us.
Let me see. CrossPromoPod.
Wow.
I did not write it on my hand.
Wow, you just completely rocked that promo.
What?
At one point, The Rock had his promo written out on his hand.
That's funny. Unintentional reference, then.
It was definitely unintentional, but it was funny. All right, but yeah, you can guys check us out there, and of course, you can check us out if you like this podcast. You can find our audio podcast anywhere you can find on any type of podcast, your favorite podcast, anywhere. You can also find us live streaming on Kick, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram.
Or I guess wherever you're already watching it or listening to it.
Yeah, and if you do like what you see here and you want to come back again tomorrow and hear some more funny antics from us and everything,
Or me getting him upset about something.
Of course. Uh, follow, subscribe, do whatever you can. Like the video as well if you're on YouTube. And spread the word about us. Hey, we're just common wrestling fans. We're a father and son just wanting to spread the love of professional wrestling to one and all. To every nation, to every state, to every city, to every town.
Yeah.
I got a little too deep with that, but that's okay. All right. So, from, let me get all this going here. Hang on. Because we got to get everything going here. Got to make sure everything's all good to go. So we can leave you guys in good, capable hands. All right. So I hope you all liked the show. And hope you guys come back to see us again soon. So, from the Cross Promo Show, I'm Kevin.
I'm Chris.
We gone.
Almost missed my cue there.
It's all right, though.